Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Constantine III, and welcome to a video all about laning. This is the first video of many about laning as Vayne. But before we talk about CSing, positioning, trading, fighting, killing, whatever you need to do in lane, pushing, whatever, we need to talk about a perspective that players at low ELO, and even like Platinum, don't quite comprehend about laning as an ADC. So unlike mid lane or top lane, as I'm sure you guys are obviously aware, there are two people in bot lane. There is you and there is the support. What I want you guys to understand at the end of this video is that you are only half the equation in bot lane. You are only 50%. Technically speaking, and in reality, you are really only responsible for about 20% of the lane dynamic, especially as a character like Vayne. What do I mean by this? Gosu is pretty well known for saying that supports are the ones that win the lane. Supports are the ones that make the plays, make the trades, and set up the ADC for success. This may make some of you lower ELO players despondent because, yes, a lot of your supports will be potatoes, but it shouldn't. Really, all you have to understand is that based on the playstyle and kind of support you have, you yourself must adjust your playstyle. ADCs are very flexible. Vayne can be aggressive, Vayne can be passive, Vayne can trade a lot, Vayne can go all in. She can do all of these things. The question is, should you do any of these things? Well, let's talk about some examples and see how supports can really change the way you play the game. First, we need to understand the nature of the beast. What I mean by that is, what kind of supports are you going to have and how should you play with them? There are two main types of supports. There are mage supports and there are fighter/kill lane supports. Let's talk about mage supports first. Janna, Nami, Karma. Three very good examples. What do all three of these supports have in common? They're ranged and they specialize in trading. What do I mean by this? Let's use Nami as an example since she's the best support in the entire game, for Vayne at least. Number one, Nami has a lot of tools to deal damage to the enemy ADC from a distance. Her heal bounce, her auto attack buff, her aqua prison, she doesn't have to get super close to the enemy in order to deal a reasonable amount of damage. Furthermore, she can trade for her ADC in a kind of way by healing up damage that the enemy ADC did to them via her heal. Soraka does this as well. Janna with her shields and her tornadoes and her slows are all built for trading. But all of these supports really are designed to whittle down an enemy, lock them into a death grip with an aqua prism, with a high-powered Janna tornado, with a polymorph from a Lulu. Typically, they're not going to be very good at going all in and just straight up killing someone unless they've already been chunked by their poke. The other kind of support is a melee support. Blitzcrank, Alistar, Tahm Kench. Right now in the meta, not as popular as the mage supports, but they're still very strong, very viable characters. They are specializing, obviously, in locking in a kill, even at full health. For instance, Blitzcrank Vayne. If Blitzcrank hooks someone next to a wall, that's a hook, that's a knock-up, that's a condemn, that is a lot of CC, and that is probably a kill. But Blitzcrank is not very good at trading. In fact, he can't trade. What is he supposed to do? If he hooks somebody, they're going to try to kill them. That's not trading, that's going all in. Because after Blitzcrank has used those spells, they have very long cooldowns, and there's not a whole hell of a lot he can do afterwards. So I hope where I'm going with this is becoming very obvious at this point. Based on what kind of support you have, you need to change your playstyle to match with it. Whenever I watch lower ELO Vayne's play, so many times I see them extremely aggressively trading when they have a Blitzcrank support. And they're always very surprised they lose against a Lucian Karma bot lane. They're like, God, how am I getting out-traded? This Blitzcrank isn't doing anything. It's not his fault. You're playing the lane wrong. If you have a Blitzcrank support, you need to be passive and not trade and wait for him to hook the Lucian, hook the Karma, and then you can go in and kill them. Trading with a Alistar Blitzcrank doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless you're going all in, just don't do it. Same thing with having a mage support. You really shouldn't be going all in on a character with full health. They can help you trade, but if there's like a Thresh or something, they just simply have a lot more kill pressure when health bars are equal. The reason why you can beat a Lucian Thresh bot lane as Nami Vayne is not that you simply out 2v2 them at full HP. It's because the Thresh will get into a position to where he walks up to try to trade with you, but you're standing behind minions and you block his hook. He can't go all in and he just gets absolutely destroyed. Flay plus auto attack does not equal Nami heal, Nami auto attack buff, tumble auto. That's going to destroy him. Essentially, this is why I've been very hesitant to give out general advice about laning. It really matters on what kind of support you have, what the enemy bot lane looks like, what the jungler is, and a whole host of factors. But for our foundational understanding of how to lane well as Vayne, this is pivotal. Never lock in one way of thinking about how to lane until you understand the circumstances. Do you have a mage support? Does the enemy have a mage support? Is it a fighter versus a mage? How should you position? How should you be trading? All of these kind of things matter on what your support is. But that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. I don't want to overload you in information. We can just make a bunch more videos after this. You want to talk about farming next, trading with different kinds of supports, how to go all in. All that's going to be covered real soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope this makes sense to you. Take it easy and have a good one.